recently celebrated 4 years in business. Appiah is my company, and we provide career development and personal branding services. And yeah, it's been 4 years, and people often reach out to me asking, how did you become a career coach? How did you do it? How have you been able to build your brand? So this is what this video is all about. I'm sharing some of my journey with you in terms of how I became a career coach, and hopefully will give you some insight in how you can do it yourself if that's a path that you would like to take. So let's get right into it. So first of all, I always knew that I would do something related to career development as a business. It was something that came really naturally to me. I was always that person, even as a teenager, that was helping people do their resumes, helping people prepare for interviews, giving people the motivation and providing mentorship, even when I was super young and these people were like double my age. It was something that I knew that I was great at, but I didn't know that it was a field. Like, I didn't know that career coaching or career development was an actual industry where you can start a business or have a job in it. I pursued a different career path. I have a master's in public administration and have had the opportunity to work multiple years in the public service and, develop myself from a very junior analyst to being in various leadership roles. But at the back of my mind, I always knew that one day I would start this business. There was a bit of fear in terms of actually getting started, but in 2018, I had my son, and that for me was like the moment where I was like, okay, I'm starting this business. I don't want to be the mom who gives excuses of why I didn't pursue my dream. And that was the motivation for me to actually get started. So I started off 2019 doing my certification. So you don't necessarily have to have certifications. There are a lot of career coaches out there who are not certified. Some are great, some are not so great. But at the end of the day, it's not the certification that's going to make you good at what you do, but it does help you improve your knowledge. It does help you improve your skills and make sure that what you're sharing is up to industry standard. So I got certified at that time through the Career Professionals of Canada, took a couple of courses with them. I also took some leadership courses through different universities, and that's how I began to build my knowledge but also build my confidence in the field. Obviously, being a manager, a hiring manager for multiple years, HR was integrated into my work. There is a distinction between what HR is and what career coaching is. At the end of the day, HR is more for the company, whereas career coaching is more for the person, for the individual. There are some overlaps, but you don't necessarily need to be a recruiter to be a career coach. I often hear a lot of people make statements like that, and it doesn't make any sense, because career coaching is not about just helping somebody find a job. There's so much more to it. It's helping somebody actually build their skills. It's actually helping somebody recognize what they have to offer and even build their confidence. And there are different focuses, in terms of maybe building your own business. You may be a career coach but have a different focus than what I have. My focus is career development, but also focus on personal branding. There's a strong emphasis on personal branding in what I do, and maybe that's not going to be your focus, but just keep that in mind. It's up to you to kind of define what is your area in the market, what is your niche, and to grow there. So now 2020, I started my business, and I thought I'm gonna put an Instagram post out there. I started a business and I start getting clients. It doesn't work that way. So obviously there was work to be done to actually get clients. I began to build my personal brand. I chose LinkedIn as a platform that worked for me, partly because of my personality, but also the kinds of people that I was looking to attract would most likely be on that platform than any other. And so that was a way for me to begin to build my personal brand, begin to gain exposure for myself, but also for the company. I wasn't someone who was very active on social media previously. I think, you know, I had an Instagram account, but literally probably just my wedding photos there and a couple of other images, but I wasn't active on social media. I did have a LinkedIn account that I used like 15 years ago when I first graduated, and I had never opened it since then. So it was a learning curve. I needed to learn how to put myself out there. I needed to learn how to promote my skills, how to position myself as a thought leader. It's still something that I'm learning today, how to tweak and adjust my messaging to be able to attract the right clients. But building my personal brand is definitely something that helped me to get media opportunities. It's something that helped me to get speaking engagements, and it's something that helps me daily to get clients. When I initially started, I thought having a beautiful website was so important. I invested a lot in getting a website, but then I realized that as much as it's great to have a good website, if the website is not optimized, if the website doesn't have the appropriate copyright, it's not going to produce the result that you're looking for. And so over the years, as much as I have a website and the information is there, I don't use it as the only means to be able to attract clients. It's one of the sources in terms of how I get leads, but really right now my leads are coming from LinkedIn, they're coming from YouTube, and they're also coming from my mailing list. So that is something that you definitely want to look into. How can you begin to build a mailing list or a newsletter that you share regular messages or regular emails with people so that they know what you do, but also that you're in their inbox. You may not always get them on social media, but if you have their email address, you're emailing them directly. It's getting into their inbox for sure. And another thing is that if for whatever reason one day there's no LinkedIn or there's no YouTube, emails are going to stay. And so you definitely want to make sure that you're building your email list. The way that I build my email list is that I use like freebies or quizzes to be able to get people's email address, and then I begin to build a relationship with them from there through various emails that I've set up. So that is definitely a way that you can gain clients and be able to position yourself as a career coach in the industry. Other things that have helped me that are not like online is attending networking events and also being able to put myself out there more locally to know like the business sector or like other business owners in my area. I have received tons of referrals for my business just by attending networking events, introducing myself, people getting to know me, what I do. They follow me on LinkedIn. They're like, oh, wow, this is great. And then they start referring their friends and family to me. So this is a way that you can also increase your exposure by actually getting away from the computer and going outside, going to networking events, going to conferences to meet new people and share more about what you do. You may not immediately get an opportunity from that, but I've seen it happen in different ways. You know, I've had those immediate ones where the people meet me at the event and they're like, oh, you're exactly who I was looking for. I need to rebrand. I need someone who can help me to articulate my skills and build my LinkedIn profile. I've had that. But I've also had opportunities come like months later, even years later, where someone is like, oh, I met you at this event, or they're talking to somebody else who's looking for something in my background, and they're like, oh, I met a person at this event, let me share their LinkedIn profile. And years later, I land an opportunity from a connection that we met at this event. So it may not be immediate, but that's definitely a great way to build your entrepreneurial skills, but also to gain referrals from your immediate network that is more local. And then I would say something that has definitely helped is from my personal brand, I've been able to get a lot of speaking engagements and, you know, host and facilitate workshops. Most of the time, if I'm speaking and it's like an in-person event, especially, I feel like virtual is a little bit different, but if people hear me speak at a speaking engagement, I will get at least 2 other opportunities from that one engagement. And so speaking engagements are definitely a great way to get referrals. It could be someone who participated in the event who, you know, knows somebody else, or it could be the people who hired you who decide, hey, let's bring this person back because they were great, and you know, let's look at another topic. So speaking engagements have been a great way for me. At the beginning, I did speaking engagements for free because it was the way that I was trying to build my brand and my exposure, and it did help it where I was in terms of helping me build my confidence. It helped me to also understand how to be effective as a speaker and a workshop facilitator. I had a professional background in terms of facilitating and speaking through my career, and also through a nonprofit organization that I led many years ago. But in terms of in the business world, I was still building that skill. So obviously I had transferable skills, but it helped me to do a few free speaking engagements before I started charging. And you know, right now I don't do any free speaking engagements. I just have, based on where I am and the brand that I have and the impact that I've been able to make, it's a firm decision that I've made that, especially if it's a big corporation, I'm not speaking for free. I'm not speaking for a gift card. That's not something that I do anymore. But if you are someone who is starting off, it is something that can help you, but don't do it for long. And obviously, if you're speaking for free, there needs to be something you get out of it. So for example, what I did is that, you know how I was telling you to build your email list? When I would go to these speaking engagements and maybe they would offer a gift card or they would offer an honorarium, I would tell them that, okay, you're either not paying me or you're paying me very little. So at least I want to be able to share my freebie or share my resource, and that way I would get email addresses from the participants, and this would allow me to nurture, build a connection with them, and potentially get clients from that opportunity. So there has to be some kind of a win-win. It's free, but it's not totally free because I'm getting emails at least from that speaking engagement. So those are some of the strategies that you can implement as well to be able to expand your reach and also to be able to gain more clients. If you have any questions on how I became a career coach or any specific questions as you're trying to build your business, go ahead and share them in the comments. I will monitor and make sure that I provide you with some insight on that. And on that note, if you want to hear more about my business and why I decided to start, I have another video right here, why I founded We Apply. I'll see you in that one. Take care.